Hi, welcome to the Calgary Herald Yoga series. My name is Jo.
Hart.
So this month we're exploring a little bit about yoga. Kind of has a reputation of being mostly for women, and which is unusual because it was mainly for men when it first initiated in the East. But here, if you walk into a class, you're mostly going to find women practicing yoga, and for some reason it's harder to draw men into yoga class. But the truth is that, you know, yoga is good for everybody. It's going to help your flexibility and your strength and your breath and your mind and your sense of peace and calm and all of these wonderful benefits that happen when we practice. So Hart is going to just do a few poses that are really good just to start to open up and lengthen those muscles. So with men, a lot of times we have this physical strength, but we don't have the flexibility. And if you don't have the flexibility, like the power to draw back before you flex the muscle, then you lose a lot of that potential power that you have. So yeah. So we're going to start off with a forward fold. So Hart's going to come to standing. And when you come to standing, you want to make sure that your feet are parallel to each other so that the heels are, so the outer edges of your feet line up with each other, not really the inside edges of your feet. So if you think of your second toe as pointing straight ahead, then you'll have everything in a nice line. So, okay, so I'm just going to put these blocks here, and if you're really tight in the backs of your legs, then it's nice to have a block or something to put your hands on. So we start off in mountain pose. Yeah, the Heart's going to take a nice deep breath here and begin to draw the navel in and up and press your feet into the floor so you engage the power of your muscles and hug the muscles towards the bone here. And then inhale and reach up nice and tall. And you can look up if that feels okay in your neck, and exhale, open your arms out to the side and fold all the way down. Now Hart's been practicing for a while, so he's got some nice flexibility and length in his muscles. But if you don't, that's why you're going to use the blocks, and you're just going to let yourself fold down. So you almost want to fold in half, if that's possible, and eventually it will be. And just taking a few breaths here, you can start to press your thigh bones back and just let yourself fall. So if you don't need the blocks, you can just set them aside and take your hands down to the floor. Okay, if your back is really tight here and the back of the legs feel really tight, then just add a bend to your knees and that will release a lot of that. Good, so this is a really great pose. You can stay here for 3 to 5 breaths. And then from here, we're going to step back to lunge. So you're going to step one leg as far back as you can. Good, and then here again, if this feels too crunchy, you just use blocks under your hands, but Hart seems to be okay here. So we're going to come up to a raised leg lunge. So Hart's going to squeeze his thighs towards each other and start by taking his hands onto his top thigh. Yes, and you can just stay right here. This is fine, and breathe and extend the leg, get nice and strong. Maybe take the hands to the hips. And then the shoulder blades can move onto the back, move the elbows together. Great second part of the pose. And the third part is to lift your arms straight up. And looking up is nice, but if that's too much for the back of your neck, you just keep your chin parallel to the floor. So you can bring your chin back to parallel and then take it down. Good, okay. And then you can just step your feet together, inhale, and come all the way up. Good. So you're going to do the second side, but we're not going to do it here just because we don't have time on the video. But you can do the exact same thing on the second side. And then from here, we're going to move to triangle pose. So Hart can maybe come back to your forward fold first. Yeah, and exhale. And then from here, step your leg all the way back to your lunge. Pivot your foot, and then from here we're going to come all the way up to standing. That's it. So you're going to have your front foot pointing straight ahead, and then your back heel is going to be turned out a little bit from your toes. Open your arms out to the side and inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to bring yourself towards, yes, extend that back hip back, and then once you've reached your nice place, you can windmill your hand down. So this is where the block is really nice, just to lift it up. If that feels too crunchy for you, you're just going to take your hand to the top of your thigh and reach up. So in the full pose, you can look up at your hand, but again, if that doesn't feel good in the neck, just look straight ahead or even look down. And this one, you want to have your shoulder right over your wrist. So this is a really great place just to start to open up the legs as well and get some length through the side body. Good. And then from here, inhale, come all the way up. Bring your palms together and let's step the feet together. Good. Okay, so from here we're going to step, actually let's come back to forward fold. Good. And then this time maybe step your opposite foot back, and we'll move to warrior two. So you're going to turn your back foot down and inhale, take yourself all the way up, and exhale, warrior two. Yeah, and in this pose you want to make sure you're keeping this knee opening to the baby toe edge of your foot. You can soften through the shoulders, draw the belly in and up, and smile. Nice. And you're going to press through the outer edge of the back foot, and then straighten the leg, bring the palms together. And then from here to switch, you could do it without even stepping your feet together. You could just pivot this foot to turn your opposite foot out, and take warrior two on the second side. Yeah. Great. Awesome. And then step your feet maybe together in the center of the mat. Good. Nice job. And then you can come down to sit. Good. All right, so even sitting sometimes can be challenging, and then you just sit up on a pillow. But the more you practice, the better things get and the better you feel. How do you feel?
Great.
Good. All right, well, thank you so much for playing yoga. Namaste. Namaste.